Shalom, beloved. Shalom, shalom. You have blessed me so much with words of encouragement and with donations and gifts. I can't thank you enough. I know some of them I haven't shared on this channel, some of the gifts, and I'm just not really sure. I guess I should ask personally. I'm not sure if some of these things, if you want me to share them on my channel, on this channel. But I do know there's one here I really want to share that I happen to have right next to me at the moment. And I don't know if you want me to mention your name, but this is just beautiful. I got this Sidur, and this is a one with Rabbi Shapira, as I was just talking about not long ago. He had this that he mentioned on that video I recommended, and it is just beautiful. It's it's just beautiful. A beautiful book, beautiful prayers, of course, and then I can do this one-handed because I'm holding the other one. You can see the floral design, and there's the Hebrew, English, and transliteration on there. It's beautiful. It's just very beautiful and very special for this time. Highly recommend it. So thank you. I can definitely mention your name in my next video or one of the videos ahead if you want to be mentioned, but you know who you are. I thank you for that, and also others of you who have shared all the books. I've got the one here, Revelación, and the other one here, also from William. I know William, I've mentioned your name before. I just thank you, and also the CDs that you requested. I should mention that I have in my possession some of the In the Temple CDs, but the other CDs are still, even though I'm taking on the music ministry on my own now, the other CDs are still with my father, so we have to like do this kind of cross meet sort of thing, and figure out how to get those to you, the ones you want. But I thank you, and hopefully you'll get the other things that you asked for, requested before. And speaking of my father, I actually met with my father not long ago, and it was good. It was really good. One of the things we talked about was that where he's at, there is a congregation that he can go to where they celebrate Shabbat and keep Shabbat. So that's really neat. And so he was telling me about how it's gotten smaller. The group has gotten smaller, and it happened after they started to implement more liturgy, more of the Hebrew prayers, traditional prayers into the service. There were people who were saying it was too Jewish, and I just I just got to thinking about that a lot today. I mean, I have been thinking about it, but it's not the first time I've come across this, or my family's come across this. But I thought, why does that bother me? Why is it troubling to me that someone would even think that way or would say that? And people might say, well, Iska's biased because she grew up in a Messianic Jewish synagogue. I did grow up in a Messianic Jewish synagogue where it was very traditional, because some Messianic congregations really aren't that traditional. I just visited one today. I just found it online, and I was blessed, but it was not. They keep the Sabbath, but it wasn't traditional like I grew up. I grew up where it was the synagogue. We had the traditional prayers and blessings, the Hebrew. Even if you didn't speak Hebrew, if you came to our congregation, you were gonna know some Hebrew. And there was the Torah procession, and We celebrated all the festivals, the feasts. And just very traditional. Just how the service went together, and shared the Torah portion. Anyways, so this congregation I went to, I was happy, encouraged that they, this is Shabbat Shalom. It was a service on Shabbat, but it was missing, the traditional prayers. We did sing the Shema, so that was pretty cool. That was really great. And I just realized how special it was, how I got to grow up. But I'm getting off track here a little bit from what I wanted to share. Was that, so I started to realize why this troubles me so much when people start to say that's too Jewish. It's people who they don't come from a Jewish background. And maybe some of you are thinking, well, maybe that's why they don't come from a Jewish background. But it's not about that. You have to realize that our Savior, our King Messiah, Mashiach, Y-shua, is a Jewish Messiah. So your faith in him, you become part of the family. His culture is your culture. So this actually brings me to why this troubles me so much. When someone says something about it's too Jewish, you have to understand some of these prayers and blessings have been here since ancient times. It's ones we do for service. Not really that much different from what we might have seen and heard in the time of Yeshua. This was the Jewish culture. This was culture of Israel. Yeshua came from a Jewish family. He went to service, kept Shabbat. He taught the Torah in a much more full form, explained what the Torah was really telling us in greater depths. Anyways, so then I started to think about this. Well, I do know now why that troubles me when someone says it's too Jewish. These prayers, these blessings, this Hebrew, the studies of what the sages say and stuff like that. I do understand now why it troubles me. So I'll give you an example, okay? I am, many of you know, now, because now I talk about it, that my mother was from Puerto Rico. So I'm half Puerto Rican. Okay, my mother was a Jewish Puerto Rican. So that's actually another reason why I absolutely love the character on Welcome Back, Carter. If you've seen that show, he's a Puerto Rican Jew. He plays a Puerto Rican Jew in New York. And my mother, when she first came to the States, even though Puerto Rico belongs to the United States, she came to New York. So, anyways, yeah, I like that character. But so I'm saying this because as an example. So as a Puerto Rican with the Puerto Rican blood, as Puerto Ricans we dance. We dance, we move. We hear music, I hear music in the store, I just move, even if it's just a little bit, because it's just in me, the dancing. That's just what we do, that's just what Puerto Ricans do. Okay, I've had this where I've been in the grocery store in the aisle and there's some music that just makes me move, and there was a man that starts snickering down the aisle because I'm dancing and in the middle of the store. I just can't help it, So that's part of who I am, it's part of the culture, okay? So what if I made new friends with someone and she comes to visit my place and I've got some music on and I start dancing, okay? I start moving because I just can't help it. I'm Puerto Rican, right? So what if she were to tell me at that moment that I'm dancing, you're great, you're a good friend, I really admire you, but you're just too Puerto Rican for me. I just can't come back. You're just too Puerto Rican. Too much. Put the Jewish in there too. Too much of a Puerto Rican Jew. So that would be really weird. I think it'd be hurtful. So then I had this thought too. Like, I'm using that as an example when someone says, that's too Jewish, that service is too Jewish. So what does that mean? That's too much of Y-shua for you. It's too much of his culture for you. You really want to know him. You say that, but do you really want to know him? Do you really want to know how he lived when he was walking on the earth? Do you really want to know? Because that's part of his culture. So it's hard for me to understand that. To follow that, to feel good about it. I don't feel good about that when someone says that's too Jewish. And hopefully now you understand why. A little bit more of why. Yeah, there's something else I was going to say about that. I forgot what I was going to say, but that was what was very important to me to share that. I guess you could say I've been on my soapbox here for a little while. You know, I don't know. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but that was my personal thought. It is hurtful, you know. It is hurtful. It hurts me, and that's okay, you know. I mean, I love them anyway. I love the people who say this anyway. But think about it, okay? So, okay, yeah. Here's another example. Let's say you go to visit a service, a Messianic Jewish synagogue service, or wherever it is. It could be a church, I don't know. And you start to feel in your heart and think, you know, this is too Jewish for me. What if that was the very same place that Y-shua himself walks in the door, opens up the scroll, and starts to teach to you? How are you going to feel when just moments before that you were thinking to yourself, this place is too Jewish for me? You know, Y-shua is coming back for a bride that is not foreign, a bride that is familiar to him, one that knows him. Granted, we will always be striving to know him more. We will never know everything about him. But if you really want to know him, why even think that way, that something is too Jewish? Why even think that way? Why feel that way? Is it because maybe you feel somehow disconnected from that? Well, I tell you, beloved, you are not. If you are one out there who's thinking that, the moment you have put faith in Y-shua, you are part of his family. That culture is part of your culture. It's part of you. It's part of who you are. So those are just my things to share for now. Thank you so much for listening, beloved. I love all of you so much, and regardless of how you see things, I want you to know that I love you. Even if you are one of those who say that maybe I'm too Jewish for you, I still love you, and I just hope you understand, though. You know, it's about love, loving one another, loving our King, and understanding each other. Even if we don't agree with each other, I think it's important to just respectfully try to understand each other and meet a certain ground of understanding. Like, even to agree to disagree, to me, that's beautiful. So, thank you for listening. I love you so much. Shalom, shalom, beloved. Thank you. Okay, so I forgot one more thing that I was going to talk about, and that was, this is something else that I believe is so important for the body of believers, is something is not right if the visitor of a congregation, a new place, is more friendly, more reaching out than the congregants, people who are there. I had this experience. I'm not going to say, you know, I'm not, you'll notice I'm not mentioning any names. I'm not going to say any names because I had a beautiful time. I love the people I met. I really had a beautiful time, and I want you to understand that. But I was, in fact, the one who made the eye contact, made the, reached out the hand, and met the people. And I was the guest. I was a visitor. I was really the most, the friendliest, from my observation, the friendliest person, because I was reaching out to people, meeting people. And I've never been to a congregation quite like that before. I have been to some where they're more reserved, but that really surprised me, though. And I share this because for all congregations, not just Messianic ones, something is wrong if the visitor is the one that's the most friendly. They can be friendly, but if the people in the congregation are not actively paying attention to new people coming in, making them feel at home, first impressions are huge. My first impression would determine whether or not I was going to come back again or not, or never come back again. So yeah, I just wanted to share that real quickly, that it is so important. Make sure that when you have a visitor, you go out of your way to say hello to them, to greet them, to find out a little bit about them. Especially leaders. Especially leaders. That is so important. Otherwise, they might not come back. I don't know, maybe that's what you wanted. I don't think so, though. But they might not come back. It's so important. We're supposed to love each other. And that love. I know it's not easy to meet new people. I guess for me it's not hard, but for a lot of people it's not easy to meet new people. But that's also another form of love. You have to take away from your own fears and go forth and love. Not be afraid of reactions, bad reactions, rejections. So I just had to say that real quick. And thank you for listening. I love you so much. Shalom, shalom.